Still to come, the amazing story and Western art of Morgan Weisling and his very talented family.
And this is the photos of him when he first got captured.
World War II shot down his dream of becoming a comic strip artist until his plane was shot down and he was sent to a German POW camp.
So he started a comic strip. He gathered cigarette wrappers and bound them into a little sketchbook. And every 3 days, he'd add one panel to the story, and it would get passed around the entire camp. So for the guys, it was like having something to look forward to.
Award-winning Western artist Morgan Weisling grew up hearing that story as his artistic father taught him how to draw.
That story made him a hero in my eyes. That he was like, wow, that is so cool that while he's in prison camp, he's creating this story and helping others get through their time.
When the POW camp was suddenly liberated, Howard Weisling managed to grab his prisoner file, but the comic book got left behind.
I always said, Dad, why didn't you bring any of those drawings home? I'd love to know what all that looked like.
Howard never did have an art career, but his son Morgan has long been one of the most acclaimed Western artists in the country.
It was just a natural thing for me. I always did it.
It gives credit to both his parents.
Most kids are being told, don't be an artist, you'll never make a living at it. My parents, when I was 12 years old, were getting on my case because I still wasn't studying my anatomy like I was supposed to. My mom always used to tell me, you can't be a good artist unless you know your anatomy. So I was just early trained to think in terms of working on my art.
Like his father, Morgan portrays life in the Old West.
I'd love to be a movie director and do Westerns. That would be awesome.
And like a Western film, each painting tells a story.
I only get one frame, one moment in a movie, and try to tell a story in that one moment. It's not easy.
He actually began his career creating Hollywood movie posters.
Working on mega million dollar movies and working with, all the different film companies and everything. And it was just like a crazy thing for a 19-year-old to be doing.
That came after years of study under another huge influence.
I actually did the poster for Last Action Hero.
Fred Fixler.
The greatest teacher I could have ever possibly hoped for. And that changed the course of the rest of my life as an artist.
Morgan was 15 when his mom enrolled him in Fixler's now defunct art school.
I'm going to high school, not that I had any interest in it. I was doing what I had to do, and then the minute school was over, I would drive to Reseda and go to art school for night classes. So my life was always revolved around going to my night classes.
There was no formal graduation. The day just came when Morgan was ready. But after 14 years in the movie poster business, change was in the wind again.
Computers started coming into it, and a lot of the work for illustrators like me was getting replaced with photography and Photoshop.
A friend's father was an art collector and encouraged Morgan to do a painting.
He said, do a painting and we'll go to Scottsdale, Arizona and we'll show the galleries. So I did a painting, went into trailside galleries, and they just were like, yes, we'll take it. And while I was there, they sold it. I hadn't even framed it yet. Well, okay, this might be easy.
It isn't easy, but it has been successful. Morgan's a two-time winner of the top prize at the National Cowboy Museum's prestigious Prix de West art show and sale in Oklahoma, along with many other awards.
And then the minute you get off the podium and accepted it, you go, now what am I going to do?
He has no shortage of ideas, and they all center on a cast of characters he's created who make reoccurring appearances in his paintings, each with his own story.
Every character I put in is real to me, and they have a relationship that lives on from painting to painting. My book that's out, I tried to show how that happens throughout the course of my painting. So if you get one of my paintings, you're getting a part of the story of a larger group and storyline of a universe that I've kind of created.
You won't find gunfights in Weisling's paintings. His tales focus largely on the more peaceful aspect of pioneer life and the community his paintbrush has created.
I am trying to paint a world that you want to live with. I'd like to be feeling like I'm uplifted by what I'm looking at and feel like it's a positive message more. I paint the true courage of the West and the pioneers that forged the new country. And that's the kind of ideals that I'm trying to paint.
The artistic home and heritage Morgan grew up with lives on today.
But it's kind of like having art school every day.
His wife, Joanne Peralta, is a fine artist.
I just have been a fanatic about Westerns since I was a little girl.
With her own take on the West.
Well, we have a rule. We are not allowed to critique one another's work and give unsolicited advice or opinions until the other person has said you may do so.
Joanne's paintings have long been part of the prestigious Masters of the American West art show at the Autry Museum in Los Angeles, where her oil Spanish shawl won the coveted Artist's Choice Award.
When you have great artists together, the wonderful thing about that is it just inspires and encourages you to do your best. And I think we all need that. So it's fun. It's really great.
And their daughter, Brittany, who grew up modeling for Morgan, has been exhibiting her paintings at the Autry show since she was 15.
Yeah, it's very surreal. And the older I get, the more I realize just how crazy that is. And I'm just trying to make the most of that and not squander it.
Younger daughter, Sienna, named after the color, inherited the same artistic talent, but is currently focusing on languages instead of art.
We're normal people, you know.
It does make for some unusual family vacations.
When we take a trip, half the car is packed with art supplies. So instead of just sightseeing, we paint. That's how we do our vacations, you know. And so that's a little different.
It's a vacation Morgan's late father would enjoy, whose missing POW camp comic books suddenly reappeared 75 years later.
After my dad had already passed away, I got an email, a random email out of nowhere of some guy in New York who said, "I think I have some sketches of your dad's." They were in a truck full of Nazi artifacts, and it says on the front, "A Western by H.G. Weisling," and which is why the guy was able to find me. And so now, to this day, now I get to actually have the drawings that my dad used to tell me about all those years. I just wish he could have lived to know that this is back in the family's hands.
There's so much more to this story of this unique family of artists, which continues to unfold to this day, just like the new tales of the Old West, told through the paintbrush of Morgan Weisling.